Hello, welcome back to the Rose Podcast. I'm Alejandro with your
And
boy.
and I'm Isaac. What's up?
What is up? It is currently
Yeah.
Mother's Day today, so we all hope that y'all gave your mother a hug, or at least called her, or said something to her, you know? But that was the first thing I did when I saw my mom today. I gave her a hug, and then told her I loved her, and that to have a happy Mother's Day. And then I had to take her to work, and like when she got out of my car, I just like I don't know, like I just got overcame with this joy. I'm like, man, my mom's a beast, you know. I mean, like I was like, that's one thing I'm really starting to notice, just like in my own family, is just exactly how much of a role my mom plays. She's like the backbone of our family, honestly.
Yeah. No, I can sort of relate how my mom just she was in charge for like a very long time, and she really she I mean even right now she's still trying to do her best to like bring in money to like help us and stuff like that whenever we need it. And she's a fucking beast. Like she's there when like when you really need her.
Always,
Always.
bro.
Always.
That's the thing,
Uh,
man. Like mothers are fucking great, man, and it's fucking dope. Cause like we're out here, like both of our moms have the same name. That's the fucking craziest shit ever, bro. Like sometimes I still don't even believe that fact. Like first name and last name, right?
uh, no.
No. Oh wait, that's right. Well, yeah, but still
Yeah,
first
yeah,
name. That's just crazy.
yeah,
You and me have the same last name though.
yeah.
It's like what the fuck?
As of right now.
As of right now, what do you mean? What you're gonna get married and you're gonna take your wife's name?
No, no, no,
Oh
no. I'm
wait,
not
never
giving.
mind. I'm retarded. That's right. I forgot. You're gonna get change your last name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because as much as I like Lopez, the
There
my
can only be one Lopez in this podcast.
I mean, it does kind of suck that we lose that like I guess that duality or whatever the fuck, or that we're not gonna be matching anymore. But it's
Whatever.
something that I want to do, eventually. So fuck it. I
That's
mean, the
sick,
Rose
bro.
podcast is still gonna be the Rose podcast either way.
Yeah, this isn't the Lopez podcast. It's the Rose podcast. In honor
Exactly.
of our mothers. Look at that. Look at how I tied that together, bro. Yeah, like my mom's always pushing me to be to be my best, you know?
Yeah, always like telling you to do this or that because she thinks it's like best for you. I mean, don't get me wrong, they like not that I don't think it's best for me because most of the time, like my mom tells me to do something, it's always because like, you know what? Yeah, she's right. I should probably do this because it is best for me.
Yeah. You know, we're too naive and young to like consider it, but that's one thing I'm definitely starting to notice as I'm getting older. I'm really starting to become more appreciative of everything that my parents have done for me.
Yeah.
And like it's like it's part of becoming an adult, I guess, where you just like it's like you don't see your parents as parents anymore. You see them as your best friends, you know?
Hmm.
And like
As like
that's
you get older, you like start to relate to them like more and more.
yeah.
It's like, you know what? Well, shit, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
This shit's fucking this place is whack.
This shit's fucking hard.
All right. For the people listening, I say we all drink a sip of water in honor of our mothers. Because just like water, our mothers give us life. Amen.
They
Man, I love water.
Yeah, water's pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah, my.
Well,
Oh, what were you
what
gonna
happened?
say? Oh,
I was gonna say like with the whole like when you get older, you start understanding and like relating to your parents more, like especially your mom, I guess. And shit, like I feel like I realize like looking back at it, sometimes I regret doing a whole bunch of like I realize how much of a shitty kid I was.
Oh
Like
yeah,
once you start
man.
getting older and like comparing yourself to like all the other little kids nowadays, and it's like, well, fuck, that was
I'm a little fuck. I'm a little twerp.
yeah, dude, that was a little shit back then. I mean, like I wasn't always like, uh,
Nah, you
I
weren't
wouldn't
that
say
bad, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like there, of course, like you have your moments where it's like, well, shit, I can't believe I like put my parents through that.
Yeah.
But then it's like most of the time you're basically a good kid. At least I know I was.
Yeah, I would say for the most part, I was a good
That's a
kid. Like it's just that like I never really fit the mold that my parents wanted me to live. Like my parents were always pushing me to do well in school and all that, and like I never like when it came to school and all that. Like I don't know, I just felt like it was like the way it was all structured and shit. It didn't actually like um damn, I'm trying to think of the words to try to say. My, so like I don't know, like when it comes to like grades and shit, like that's all my parents really cared about. Like they only made sure that like I had good grades, you know.
yeah,
And like yeah, grades are important, but like grades don't reflect actual intelligence, you know. And like that's the thing about school that I really just dislike so much is that like the way like at least when was going to school, like school was structured. It's kind of like in favor of certain people who learn in certain ways because there are people who can like hear something and then they'll be able to understand it. But like there's a bunch of different ways people learn, and like I've never been the type of person who's been able to like hear an explanation of something and then understand it like how it's done right away. Like usually it takes me a minute to like understand it, or for me, what I notice is that I have to like visualize it, you know, like see with my own eyes. Or but like what I found is the best experience is, or the best teacher is experienced, you know, just like doing things that you want to learn.
yeah, yeah. Cause I mean, cause I listened to another podcast before, and actually this podcast featured our old coach slash math teacher, Coach Schrader. Um,
Shout out to Coach Schrader.
yeah, shout out to him. Love you. Anyways, he was actually on another podcast. I think it was a local one around here, and he was actually talking about the school system and like why he like focuses on teaching like his 8 kids at a homeschool rather than like putting them in an actual school because like a lot of the because like you said, it's like a certain way of teaching, and like some kids get it, some kids don't. Like
Yeah, some
it's
people just
really
fall behind.
yeah,
They fall
yeah,
through the
it's really
cracks.
all up to them. But like he said, like the whole school system thing is like super outdated. Like
Yeah.
this, like the whole reason, like this is like the whole point of the school system is supposed to like help you get ready for the workforce. So in some ways, like it does help. Like once you get older, but like it teaches you a lot of things, but it also leaves out like a whole bunch of other stuff that you should probably be learning too. Like when you write an essay or some shit like that, like that's basically like a report or whatever. Like that you would have
Yeah.
to hand in to your boss or some shit. Like in some ways it does teach you good like work behavior, but then like when it comes to a whole bunch of other life stuff on like having like being able to talk to people is like I think like a huge thing, but like not a lot of high schools have a
They don't
like a
teach that.
communication class or
Yeah.
anything like that. And it's a struggle, especially for like introverts who just who just don't talk to people or like talking to people.
Where
And
talking to
then
them is like a difficult thing to do.
yeah, yeah, and like they struggle on working with teams and stuff like that.
And
And
like yeah, like those type of people, like they it's not that they can't work, it's just that they like usually they like to work on things on their own because they don't sometimes like they don't like other people like uh handling like doing things the way they don't want. You know, they'd much rather do something by themselves. That way they can do it the way they want to do it and not have to listen to anyone but themselves. You know, and it's like Like we live in this society that will teach us all these things like math, science, and history. Yet, like they don't teach us things about how to connect with ourselves and with other people. They just kind of like have you figure that out on your own. And
Yeah, I mean, they could at least like help give us some direction. It isn't like they can tell us like, "Oh yeah, you're this kind of person or you're that kind of person." I mean, I feel like that should also just be on us, but
yeah,
at least like help us through it a little
they should at
or
least give
something.
us like tools that we can use to like learn how to connect with ourselves. You know, like I would say like some things like writing is good on that, but like it just sucks when you're like in a classroom and you're just trying to express yourself, you know, and then your teacher is like, nah, you can't do that. Like,
Uh,
you know, like, and then sometimes I'll just like discourage people from ever wanting to do anything because it's like that one moment, that one incident where they were true to themselves and expressed themselves, they were shut down, you know, and
oh, and
they're
yeah,
gonna
I
think
know what
about
you
that
mean.
for like their whole life, you know.
Yeah, I've heard plenty of stories of just like like I think that's also a huge thing with like
That's
schools.
and
Like some
and
teachers
teachers
just straight up
too.
suck.
So yeah, honestly, a lot of teachers are just a lot of teachers. I feel like are people who shouldn't even be teachers. Like the best teachers will always encourage you to become your best version of yourself. Kind of like Schrader. Like he was definitely the best teacher I've ever had because
Yeah.
like not only did I learn so much about like the subject that he taught, more importantly, he would also like give a bunch of like life lessons and like teach us about how to just like, you know, just be an adult.
Yeah. Like I really like the way he taught. Like he made it super engaging and like not boring. Like he would always make sure to like he would always like give some analogy like when he explained like
Yeah.
some like whenever he
I
talked about
think I
like
know
a
what you're
new
talking
math
about.
topic, he I think it was like for asymptotes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. How
Well,
like the point of an asymptote is that it'll like reach a point but it will never like actually get there. So like it'll get infinitesimally closer to like say zero. Like it'll get super small, but it would never go to zero. And so basically, asymptote will never touch the point, right?
yeah.
And then what is it? It's like basically that's
Called
what
being just friends.
yeah, basically just being just friends.
You
And
know,
so yeah, he always had like these fucking like analogies and something that always made class like fun. He was never like the super boring teacher. Like he was really cool and he was always super like encouraging and like inspiring to a lot of the other students, and I really like having teachers like those like mean the world to
oh,
like
definitely.
yeah,
Another good teacher I remember having was Miss Tanksle, bro.
Tanksley.
Miss
Tanksley.
Tanksle, bro. She was a G. She's a strong, independent woman. She'll take anything, you know. And
Yeah.
like I like there's still a bunch of things that like I remember her like saying in the to the class that like I still like I'm starting to notice like damn she's right. Like I remember one thing she said is like the way people uh take care of their cars says a lot about their own character. So like people who have like messy cars and shit like that, like it speaks a lot. That's why like I try to keep my car as tidy up as possible because it kind of is true. Even like your own room, it like if you have a messy room, it's like you have a messy mind. I feel like that's why. And like I noticed that like cleaning and stuff like that, keeping things tidied up is like it passes the time, and it's like when you like finally take a step back to look at your room and you see everything like all organized, like it's very appealing, than having a bunch of shit everywhere on the floor, you know.
Yeah.
And like yeah,
I
like some of the lessons that she had taught us is like that I still carry, you know. Also, what I did respect a lot is that like they treated us like human beings, you know. They didn't treat us like students. Like they weren't telling us do this, do that, turn in your homework, shit like that. Like those types of teachers are the teachers you forget about. The teachers who encourage you to become and achieve your best version are the ones that you will remember and that you will like that you'll even go back to the school to talk to and have conversations with even after you graduate because they truly taught you things that you need to learn, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I get
Honestly,
it.
like teachers are super underappreciated in this country, and I feel like because of that, that's why we live in this fucking wacky ass fucking country where it seems like things that are common sense people can't even seem to comprehend.
Uh,
It's
uh,
ridiculous.
for example?
For example, give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm sure something will. I don't know, bro. People just like. Okay, I can't really think of anything, but I don't know, bro. There's a bunch of dumb shit going on in the world, and I feel like maybe if those people had better teachers in their life, they would be able to think more critically. That's the thing about school. It doesn't teach people to think critically. It just kind of tells people to do their work. Like one thing I say is that like someone who has an A in a class, like they could not like okay, let me restart that. Someone who has failed a class could most is it's possible for someone who failed a class to have actually learned more in that class than someone who passed it with an A. Because
Y- yeah, okay,
like
I get what you mean.
like grades like the argument of having good grades makes you smart is completely wrong. What good grades prove is that you're responsible and you turn in your work. You know, like they do prove something, but they are not a reflection of your actual intelligence. And not only that,
Yeah,
like there's like different types of like intelligence. Like there's like people like the typical people who are like book smart, and then people who are like street smart. Or people smart. Like people like everyone is smart at something, and then everyone is like dumb at other things. But that's perfectly okay. But just to put on this front that you're like a genius because you have all A's, like that's bullshit. That is
and
straight up bullshit.
yeah, I guess I know what you mean. In a lot of cases, I I felt that in a way. Like when I was in high school, I think towards like junior year and like I think junior year and senior year, I actually took like harder classes. Actually, no, no, no. Just throughout like my school years, even though I felt like I didn't really do much, when I look back at it, I took some pretty fucking hard classes that that I did okay in, and apparently like I took these hard classes, and then like getting to the end of the year or like the end of my high school career, um, I wasn't like in the valedictorians like everyone else who took like the hard classes. But then there was a lot of people that I didn't know who were valedictorians who only just did like the easy classes and got just straight A's through everything. And like they never took like advanced mathematics or like science classes or like the physics classes or anything like that. They sort of just took like low end math classes and all this other stuff. And so I mean that when I like look back at it, I'm like, what the fuck, man? I maybe like, but at the same time, I don't want to like make it seem like anyone who works hard is like a complete idiot because we can't just obviously like disregard the fact that people work hard for their grade,
Yeah,
because they had like they have to, and like for a lot of people that's sort of like all they really have is just that hard work because they're not born with like this supreme intellect.
yeah.
And I think the main problem in high school was that a lot of the classes were, as you said, just this whole like just do your work and you'll get a good grade. And because I never did a lot of my work, so I got mediocre grades, um, which is like B's and sometimes A's, mainly just B's. And
Hey, you know what they say? These get degrees.
100%.
Or did we
And
say that in the first podcast when we said C's get degrees?
we said it in some conversation recently.
We may
I'm not
have.
sure.
Off,
Yeah.
off the record or on the record, I don't know. It was said there. That's all I know.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like a lot of that just has to go on to the whoever's like teaching the subject.
Oh yeah,
Whether or not their curriculum focuses on them like actually learning a subject and showing the teacher that you know the subject and that you're able to like apply this subject on a on the exam or some shit like that. Like uh like there has to be a balance between like hard work and then also using that hard work to show that you've actually learned something, which actually I like the math classes I'm taking right now, like for college, is like one of my math professors, he like really emphasizes that you know how to do like you know the theorems, the like how to prove it. Sometimes he makes us fucking do that, and like he makes sure that we understand how to like use the whole fucking subject and like apply them to math problems. Like he focuses more on like the subject of it rather than like the numbers of it,
that's good. That's
if you know
good.
what you mean. Yeah,
And what
or what I mean.
classes is that for?
This is for differential equations. Um,
I don't even know what that could mean.
it's just like I don't really know how to explain it. It's like take everything you learn from calculus and then make it harder, I
Oh,
guess.
oh, okay. Yeah, I only went up to pre-calculus.
Yeah, yeah. I've almost done with like all my like I don't even know what I'm doing anymore for school though. So I mean I'm not sure how much it matters really that I'm just taking this class. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'd say it's like easier than fucking like linear algebra, which like when you hear algebra, you think, oh yeah, fucking I've done that
Yeah,
before.
the name linear
Uh,
algebra. You would assume linear means like, oh, it's
yeah, it's
like
pretty
simple.
straightforward. No,
But
it's
I've
not.
heard that it's not.
It's not. It's literally like it's basically like algebra on fucking steroids, bro. It'll beat your ass,
It'll
man.
beat the shit out of you, bro.
Yeah, and it like the highest like most of the numbers you deal with are just ones and zeros.
Really?
Yeah, and then everything else is just like super heavy like theorem and definitions and like yeah, it doesn't really focus on numbers more than it like focuses on just like
Like
subjects.
concepts?
Yeah, yeah, there you go, concepts. I for some reason I could not think of that word on the spot. Yeah, concepts.
There you go.
It's super concept heavy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's very hard to visualize concepts or to even like get a grasp on them. Those are things you gotta kind of like take some time to understand. You know.
Yeah, and that right there, you would actually have to put in work to like understand, I think. Like a lot of people hate like homework. Don't get me wrong, I fucking hate homework, but I think it's a super fucking like great like way to learn something. Like just taking that shit, like maybe going into class, you learn something, or maybe you don't learn something. You go and do your homework, and you're bound to fucking learn something.
Yeah, you'll learn something. Either like the
uh,
subject or how much you hate yourself.
yeah.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm just joshing. That was joshing. Uh, yeah, man. I don't know. Here's the thing. Like just now, I dropped my English class in college because like I fucking let myself fall behind due to my own
Yeah.
fault, you know.
Mhm.
So but what's so funny is that uh I guess my teacher thought was I was a really good writer because whenever he was like grading my things, I'm never gonna forget this. Like we were so in the class we were gonna write three different essays, and I wrote the first essay, and like I still remember this. I uh I procrastinated on that essay for so long, and by the time it was like what he had us do is he had us actually meet with him. That way we could show him our rough draft, and then he could like look over it and then like give us some like details, you know. And
Yeah.
like as he was going over mine, like the only thing he really criticized me for is that I didn't use enough sources. But the reason why I didn't use enough sources is because I legit wrote that essay in like 4 hours, and like I basically just used my own like logic and like explanation to kind of like prove my points, you know. So it's like I didn't
Yeah.
even need sources. I was just like explaining things in a way that were, I guess, easy to understand. And I'm never gonna forget the fact that he was like, you it's obvious you spent a lot of time writing this essay, and like I started it was so hard for me to not laugh. I want to tell him so badly that I literally just wrote this 4 hours ago. I and like that's the thing, like, and that's the one thing I've noticed about myself personally is that like if I really wanted to, I could have, like, honestly, bro, like if I would have actually tried in high school, I probably would have been a valedictorian, because like I don't know, like that was the thing. It's just that I don't know, bro. Just the sitting down in the class and doing all this work is just, I was not about that. That's just the thing. Like I was not about that. And then
Yeah.
you know, but it's like I learned is that like a bunch of things like come to me. Like I've always thought I was a bad writer, but like after that class, like I realized that like damn, I'm actually a decent writer for someone who puts in minimal effort. It's like, man, I wonder what would I be able to achieve if I actually tried. But then like I think about those people who like, honestly, I feel bad for those people who like you can tell they're trying their best and stuff, but they just still can't get the concept.
Yeah.
You know, like some people just understand things a lot better than others.
Yeah.
Like
No, you're
I was cruising through high school, honestly. Like like, yeah, like I didn't take too many difficult classes. I remember when I was like a freshman, I did like the freshman year I took uh oh no, I only took, yeah, actually, yeah. So like freshman year, like I actually took some pretty advanced classes like the first 2 years of my high school career. Like I remember I took like an advanced like physical science class, and then we took
what was it like? No, no,
algebra
no.
2, or like pre-algebra
Ge-
2 or whatever.
no, we took geometry in high school or freshman year, right? Because we
Geometry.
were with that
Oh, geometry. Dude, honestly, bro, I don't really consider myself taking geometry until I took it in college, bro. Cause
yeah.
that high school class was like, what? I
I
don't even
learned
remember it.
absolutely nothing.
That class was so, I learned nothing. What's so funny about, like, in order to pass the class, all you really had to do was those vocabulary words at the end of the class, you
Cause
know?
no,
And
that's
like,
because he gave up like halfway. He was like, "Ah, fucking, I'm not trying to teach these kids. Just learn the vocab. We're gonna have an
how
exam
do
on
I
it."
reach these keys?
It was, yeah, it was literally one of the easiest classes. And you know what? He also played favorites.
Oh,
That
he
dude
definitely.
also plays favorites.
Yeah, he totally did. That teacher, you see, that's the thing. Like that's an example of like a bad teacher. Like, like he didn't really teach, and like people would tell him to his face, like, you are a bad teacher. And
Yeah, and he would be like, "Yes, yes."
like
Like he wouldn't really even care about it.
he, like, and what did that do? That just is a detriment to the students who like they pass the class, like on the transcript
Hmm.
they have the passing grade on that class. So they move on to the next class, but they're underprepared for that next class because the
Yeah,
teacher before failed at their job. And
yeah.
like, I honestly, like, for me, I think the biggest issue with teachers is that they don't get paid enough. Like,
They 100% don't get paid enough to deal with the kind of shit that they deal
they
with.
like they basically are like part-time teachers and part-time babysitters.
Yeah, yeah.
Like teachers like pay they have such, like, the good teachers do such a good job, and then the bad teachers also do such a bad job too. Like there's both ends of the spectrum, and like they all shape the way the fucking kids, like, they shape who the kids become. And like that's the
Yeah,
thing
like,
that most people don't even realize, that like that's why I really think teachers deserve to be paid way more than what they actually are.
are
Cuz
they
like
actually?
I remember like so many teachers also talking about how like they get budgets and shit from the school, but the amount of money that they get is never enough for the stuff that they want to have for supplies for their class. Like I don't know how many times I've heard a teacher talk about how they had bought in something for the class out of their own pocket.
Yeah, you're right.
Like just like think about it. How many times have you heard a teacher say something like that? Think about it. I'm gonna take a sip of my water.
Oh no, there's definitely been times where like in elementary school, like sometimes my teachers would be like, "Hey, you guys better take care of these markers. 'Cause I bought these."
For real,
You
you
know?
know?
Yeah, that's happened a lot.
Yeah, it's like those teachers that are willing to make those sacrifices of their own like financial stability. It's like, damn, like they're doing that for the kids, and like, if only they could just get paid more, like if they got paid more, because like in order to even become a teacher you have to go through so much schooling. It's like you have to go through all this schooling.
Mm.
You're like, not only that, like I don't know how many teachers I had talk about the fact that they're still paying off their student loans, like,
Yeah.
so they're getting underpaid. Sometimes they feel undervalued, and like they fucking and they're in debt. So of course they're gonna not care about their fucking job, because they fucking hate the situation they got themselves into. It's like damn, like that's one thing I'm really starting to realize now. It's like these like this is more for like public school teachers, because those private school motherfuckers, they have it good. But anyways, uh, it's like, like but now everyone has the luxury of being able to go to a private school. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
public school is a more. I feel like I would never send my kids to a private school, because I feel like public school, all this, because like people like pub private schools have this persona of being like, oh, only the smart kids and good kids go there, which
Uh,
I
That's
which
I
kind
don't
of
think that's the case.
I don't. I mean that's. I mean, yeah, but that's generally how they're kind of like perceived.
Yeah. No, I mean I get what you mean. Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like in public school you need to have those freaking bad people to influence you, to build up your character, because if you're around a bunch of like like smart people and stuff like that who don't really bother you, like you're not gonna be prepared for the real world, where you're gonna run into freaking assholes all the time. You're not gonna know how to handle an asshole if you've never been around one in your life. So
I
like,
feel like there'd be more assholes. I mean, 'cause like what, we know somebody who's gone to private school.
wait.
At least like
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I know.
we know somebody,
Float.
one of our good internet buddies, Sloth, he like talks about a lot about how like his private like school things, and like a lot of it sounds similar to our school. So I can't really tell the difference between like I can't really give up an analogy or like tell the difference between like our school, like a private school versus like just a regular public school, other than the fact that like you have to pay to fucking
the
get
thing
into a private school.
the thing about like private school kids is they most of the time they always think they're better than you, just because they go to a private school. You know,
Yeah,
like
it's
there's
my
some sort of,
money. My mom has money. Some
but it's
shit.
like, okay, do you though? Like, yeah, like I'd much rather have less. I'd much rather have less things that I've personally earned than have a bunch of things that someone else has gotten for me.
Yeah, I'd feel much better, like more fulfilled than than someone just giving me. Like if I needed money or some shit like that, I would feel much better if I earned it rather than like someone just giving me the money.
Yeah, Because like you can't give the satisfaction of earning something to someone. You know, like you can't give that feeling off. You can only like you can only earn that feeling.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
But yeah, like teachers just I really do think they should get paid more. Because if they got paid more, they would be more willing to like do a better job.
Well, I mean, then again, just the fact that like some teachers will go out of their way to like spend money for their class really tells you a lot about them, you know?
Yeah,
It's like, oh, well, you love your students enough or care about them so much to the point where it's like, like, fuck it, I'll spend a few dollars for them. I'll buy some like markers so we can like do a project or something like that. It's nice to see that, and I really appreciate all my teachers who've done that before, because I imagine it can be easy to like make those financial like decisions. I mean, of course, if it's just like a few boxes of markers or some shit like that, I'm sure it isn't like a huge like deal or problem, but like having to like spend like a big chunk of like your whatever your salary to help the kids learn a subject more, like really says a lot about them, and I appreciate that.
yeah.
Because we need more teachers like that, I
We
guess.
we need more good teachers because
Yeah,
it
because
will
I've had
it will inspire it will inspire all the kids to be good people.
yeah,
Like
just being like
honestly,
a
sometimes all people need is just one person. Just one person to push them, And then like some teachers aren't playing that role. Like they're exhausted. And
yeah,
I'm sure it's difficult, especially in like those classes, where it has less well behaved kids. Like, oh man, it must be a nightmare being one of those types of teachers. You know, like
uh
the stories of the new teacher. Oh man, like it's always usually like the teachers who have less experience. Because like not only that, like when you become a teacher, you have a reputation, and the students will talk about you, and that reputation will be shared. Like the
yeah.
good teachers, people
Oh,
will talk about like, oh yeah, take that guy's class. He's a good teacher. He's a cool guy. And then there's
100%, yeah.
other classes where it's like, oh, you have that guy. Ooh, like,
Like, good luck.
oh, you're taking her class. Oh man, good luck. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like the teachers, all the teachers at the school, they'll have a reputation, and it's like you can generally get a look of which teachers are the ones that are respected by their students and which ones aren't.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, because you don't. Hmm. Oh, thinking about it, like reputations, and then also how we were talking about like English or writing essays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How we were never good. You know where I think that problem stems from?
Huh.
It's from what was it?
Our
I
eighth
think it
grade,
was eighth grade English class.
bro. Oh
That
my
was
god.
that was a trip.
Let's talk about
All
it,
the
bro.
way through.
All right.
All the way.
So when we were in eighth grade, we had this teacher, and she actually was a good teacher, I would say. Uh, People
I
liked
forgot her
her.
name.
Miss Vallejo, that was her name.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, yeah, she was a good teacher. You can actually tell she enjoyed the students and that. But her husband got a job somewhere, somewhere like far away, so she had to move. So she left. She left the school, and then we get this new guy.
She left us like midway through the school year, right?
It was like I would say a little. I would say like November. I think
I
because
don't remember how long, like, our like
it was
time.
around the middle of the school year. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
and I remember this dude who was our replacement. Oh my goodness. this dude was something else. So like I don't know, like I can't really remember much, but like he did like he would teach some stuff, you know. But then like as time went on, like people started to talk about it, and people started to like just uh dislike him, you know. And then
Uh-huh.
like there were like these rumors that people were saying that like his first period class was the honor class. I remember, and I remember like people would say shit like he would come in with like sunglasses and shit, and he would like like he would like sit down, put his head down. He would come in late too a lot, and I guess they were saying shit that like he would be coming in hungover, and I still remember like one day we come into class and we have a sub, you know, and like people were just talking about like, oh, he's on a business trip, you know, like what? Like looking back, how the fuck was I so gullible to believe that? I believe that like, oh, he's on a business trip. Cool, we got a sub for a week. I gotta chill back, but it's like, what kind of business trip is he on? You know, a fucking like what?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking a Magic the Gathering business trip.
Dude, that's right. He taught us how to play Magic the Gathering.
I remember
That's so crazy.
yeah, he was into that game, that card game, and like he tried to like have people play it because he had a bunch of cards. You know, he had this like
He had
he
his
taught us.
whole bin, just this huge bin full of cards, and then he let us make decks from it.
That was
He was
pretty
just
cool
like,
though. Not gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah. He was just like, oh yeah, go ahead, make a deck. I think we had to, didn't we have to like keep it in there though?
Yeah,
Yeah, we like he was just like just keep it in here for safekeeping, and yeah, he let us use this huge fucking bin of cards, and like he would teach us. I think it was like a few of us too that would go in like during lunch or something
it was
and
during
just
lunch.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we would just play against each other, and he would like teach us how to like play, and like every single time we challenged him, we would just get fucked, you know?
Yeah.
Because this guy was
We got new
this
stuff.
guy, yeah, he really knew his stuff. Yeah, it's funny though. I thought he was a cool teacher.
He was a
A
cool
lot of
teacher,
people,
but
a lot of people
he
hated
like
him though.
okay, let's say he was a cool guy, but he
Yeah,
wasn't a good teacher. You know, let's separate the
good
two.
point. Yeah,
Uh,
okay, good point.
but yeah, like I remember like so we come into class and then there's a sub, and then people were saying that like he's on a business trip and stuff, and then the truth comes out. Apparently, from what was what I've been told is that on his Facebook page he was talking shit about his students, talking about how the students are
Oh
dumb as
yeah.
fuck and they can't learn anything, bro. And then I guess apparently one of like the someone who works in the school, they saw that, so they fired him, and like they
What?
didn't tell any of the students that. So like I remember we had a sub for like we had a different sub every month, and like
It felt like every week.
it felt like I don't even know how many subs we had. And then like I remember like when they finally got a new teacher who was actually gonna replace us, it was already like the last 2 weeks of school. So like they at
I
that
couldn't even
point
remember.
they basically passed everybody in that class. Whoever had that class, like everyone in our 8th grade English class, we all passed because they're like, okay, there was just too much fuckery going on. You guys are going to high school. Fuck it, we don't
Yeah,
want to deal with
I
you guys.
I think I think my class, cause we didn't have the same English class. Like we had like yeah, we didn't have the same English class, but like in the same periods, but we did have like the same teacher.
Yeah.
Um, I remember my class was probably the worst out of everyone else's, cause our class got so much shit from like all the substitutes, and like because I remember it being like we had because we got that teacher, the one who taught us how to like play the fucking Magic the Gathering, and then like for a while we had like this black teacher who was a substitute, or no, she was just a regular substitute teacher, and she didn't care. Like she just let us do whatever. I think she like gave us packets that the school gave to her, and she was like, "All right, just do these." And we didn't do it. Our entire class never did it. And whenever someone did do it, that one piece of paper would just go passed around, and then everyone would just copy from it. And then I remember we didn't even have a substitute that day. For some reason, our period didn't even have one, and we had like a drill going on. And like this drill was like for the wow, that was pretty early. For like a like basically a school shooter drill,
Was it
basically.
really? I don't think
Yeah.
so. I don't think
I
so.
I think so. I remember it like quite vividly that it was one
For a
of those kind of
shooter?
drills. Huh?
For like a shooter? Because I know we had earthquake with drills and fire drills, but I don't think. I think
It
like.
was it was like a drill for like in case not like not necessarily for a school shooter, but just in case like oh no, there's someone who's not known is on the campus basically.
Okay.
Like for like an active like oh shit, we got to like lock the doors type thing. And they cuz I remember that being like a drill and no one was in our class. We had no substitute. No one was in there to tell us what to do.
Damn, that means y'all would have
And
died.
yeah, no one was in there telling us what to do, and we were like we were just throwing shit at each other at one point during that drill, and like we knew that the drill was going on, but no one fucking cared. And actually, in the beginning, people started were like, "Oh, well, let's get under our desk and shit like that," and then people started just fucking around, and then nobody cared. And then as soon after that, nobody cared, and apparently, uh because like the reason why I thought it was like a one of those school shooter thing one was because there was actually police on the campus, and they went to like I guess they went around to like all the classes, and they came into ours, they came in with the I think the principal or the vice principal, and then they walked in, saw us just everyone not giving a fuck, just throwing shit at each other, yelling across the room, and then just walked out. They weren't even in there for like a minute. They just came in, saw everything we were doing, and then we just walked out. And then, and then like and then I remember the super no, not the superintendent, but the principal and the vice principal came into our class later that day or like later that period and was just like the police officers saw what you guys are doing, and we are just like they started giving like this long ass speech about how we're just like shitty a shitty class, because like
But
because
without directly saying you guys are shitty students.
yeah this shit was really funny, and I remember being in that class with like a lot of just the students who were like well known to just not
To
like
just fuck
to just
around.
be yeah to just fuck around. So it was fun, but we never got shit done like for any of our substitutes either. Like when we because right we had the because I'm not sure you had the same substitutes that we had unless they like alternated during periods or something like that. But like we had the one dude, and I remember having I think it was two older ladies. We had two like older ladies who came in to substitute, but we never did or listened or anything to them. And then we had the Mexican teacher for a little while,
Yo,
who had like the
every
thickest accent.
yes, I remember
Yeah,
her. Everyone loved her. We all wanted her to be our real actual teacher, but she's like, no, I'm just a substitute.
right.
She was like
Because
our substitute for a whole month, and she stopped subbing because I guess like when you're like a substitute, there's like only a certain limit about like how many days you can substitute. They said like
uh,
if you kept substituting, she would have to like get like some sort of certificate or something to actually be able to like substitute. So that's why we had to get a new one. Everyone was so bummed because like people actually respected her. You know,
really?
at least my class did. My class
Okay.
actually.
Yeah, okay, okay. All right, yeah,
Oh,
because I had
okay.
the complete opposite experience. Like with like yeah, my class just did not give a fuck.
Okay, you were in that class then. Wait,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, that's so funny. Like every teacher always has that one class that they will talk shit to the other classes. And it's so funny when you have someone in that class and then you'll hear the story of like, bro, you're not gonna believe what this guy did in class, you know? And then you hear the teacher talking about it the next day, like, oh, my fifth period classes caused me so much trouble yesterday. I really appreciate you guys. Like, I'm I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think right now of which classes I had. I think for the most part, I got. Man, no wonder I'm so boring. I got put in all the classes with all the cool kids. You know, like or not the cool kids, the well-behaved kids.
Uh,
If I would have been
no.
like, actually, I mean that geometry class was pretty fun. No one did shit, bro. Remember when that one guy was like trying to throw pencils in the roof? I
Oh
remember
yeah,
also a
you're
bunch
right.
of people would fucking vape in that class too. They
It
didn't
would
give a
always be in the
fuck.
back. Yeah, they just yeah, I remember that
Fucking
too.
hitting the jewel, you know?
Even in our I'm not gonna drop names because I'm not sure if they're getting in
Yeah,
trouble. But
don't drop
remember,
names.
uh, well, I mean like also teachers like our Mexican,
Oh
our
yeah,
Spanish
yeah.
class. I was gonna say Mexican class. No, our Spanish class. They
Well, I mean, he's retired now.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess he doesn't give a fuck. Well, I'm still not whatever. One of our Spanish classes we had, he was he was very very cool. He let us get away with like a whole bunch of stuff, and I think like what was it? Somebody was vaping in class, and somebody got caught. I
No,
think,
no, they
right?
didn't. No, I think it's because you remember how like during lunch our friends, cause like our friend group they would go to Mr. Alvarez's class, you know, and
Uh
during lunch they would all be vaping in the class, bro. And Mr. I'll cut that out. Okay, and the teacher
just
didn't
bleep it.
the teacher didn't care. Like he was just like, cause he was most of the part. He was like in one corner of the room, and then like the
Mhm.
people who were vaping, they were on the other corner, and they were very low key about it too, you know.
Uh huh.
But apparently, I guess one of the someone heard about it, and they told him to not do it. And then I remember like in the class, some kid was like he basically let the teacher know that he had the vape and he had like a battery on him, and like that teacher was so cool that he was just fascinated by how it worked, by like the whole smoke thing. And he's like uh he let the kid go in front of the class and hit a couple O's, and he gave him extra credit for it.
Yeah, that shit was pretty fucking great. I remember just being like, "What the fuck is happening?"
What the fuck is going on right now?
Like, no way that shit was happening. But like being who he was like, it was understandable because that shit was funny as fuck.
Yeah, like he's an example of a good teacher. Like people like loved him and stuff. Oh bro, I remember when I took him freshman year, it was for Spanish 1, and we had this like in that class we had a bunch of like seniors, you know? And like he was real like he really liked our class because like we would all joke around and we would always be having like a good time, you know? And like we were and we would still get our work done. Like he made that class super fun, and the people in that class
Yeah.
were so fun. And like I remember at the end of the school year, I guess another school district they wanted to hire him, you know, and it was like I think a higher paying job, but he hand wrote them a letter explaining to them that he wasn't gonna leave that school because he values the students that are there. And like I remember like he had like it was like an incredible speech, and like right at the end he actually started to cry because of like what he was saying. And it's like damn, like he cares about his students, you know. And
Mhm.
like I remember like we everyone in the class, we all got up and we all gave him a group hug, bro. That was definitely like one of the fucking that was a good high school moment, bro. And
That sounds wonderful, man.
the fact that only the like his Spanish 2 classes, and then only that one, cuz he was teaching Spanish to one, I think one period that year. And then he had the rest Spanish 1. And like our Spanish 1 class was the only one who heard that speech because there were a few seniors in that class. So it was their last day. So he was like, he's like, I'll say it because you guys are, you know, and he liked our class too. So like that, like, you know, after that, I was like, man, he was really He was a really good teacher.
Yeah. That's dope. I remember like hearing that story too back in cause that was third year, right? I mean junior year.
No, that was our freshman year.
That was our. Oh right. Okay, yeah. Because I had the another Spanish teacher with
Kyle.
with one of our best friends, or yeah, and that shit was hella fun too. I just fucked around constantly. She never separated us for some reason. Even though we would constantly just fuck around in class, bro. Especially like I'm sure fuck I'm pretty sure your teacher he put on they used to put on videos, right?
Yeah.
Like like these
Of like these,
like
these kids or whatever, just
yeah
like
yeah
talking
yeah
Spanish. Yeah, I
yeah
remember.
every
I
single time,
remember.
bro. Every single time like she played one of those videos, me and Kyle would just dick around and just like make up the stupidest fucking shit for like each scene.
Honestly, for
And
okay. I
yeah, and then like we were yeah, she was so much fun, bro. I remember that class so like so good. She was so much fun. I don't know how to explain it.
dude, for me, whenever a teacher would put a video on, my head would go straight down and I would fall asleep. And like it's so funny because right when the video would end, I would always wake up right when it ended. Like I just always knew. Like I don't know. Like videos are sitting there listening to this video is like just like how you put me to sleep. Cause like I'm trying to watch it, but it's like I'm like drifting off. And I remember the point where I really utilized it was when I was a junior because I had pretty long hair and I always wore a
Mhm.
beanie. So what I did is that I would put my hands up to my face, like on my cheeks, and then I would kind of like shift my head so that my hair would cover my eyes. So I would like be sitting and it would look like I'm paying attention, but I'm
Uh,
actually fucking knocked out. I am freaking in snooze town. And like I never ever got caught. Like plus like they would always turn off the lights in class. Like they wouldn't know that I was asleep. And like even now, bro, like I when I was in one of my college classes, like before this whole quarantine happened, my instructor he put up a video, and I fell asleep just like right through it, and I'm like, what? I don't know. It's just something about sitting down and watching a video, an educational video that will put me to sleep. I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like whenever I do fall asleep, I still retain the information. I don't know. It's fucking weird because like, I'll be like, yeah, even actually, you know what? I had to do these quizzes like not too long ago, like last week, and like it was on emissions for cars, and like I was watching a video. While I was watching the video, and I'm at my house, and like the moment I press play, I'm paying attention, and like 2 minutes later, this is like a fucking 13-minute video too. And I fall asleep and I wake up right when it's about to end. I'm like, what the heck? But then I take the
yeah.
quiz and I almost got a perfect score on the quiz. I don't know. I'm a freak of nature or something. But like I don't like I remember I'm trying to remember which comedian it was. They were talking about how like they knew a friend who was a teacher and they would like go out drinking with them and then crap. I know who, but I can't remember his name. I
Yeah,
think
you know.
hold on. Okay, it was John Milani. He had this joke where he was like out drinking with one of his teacher friends, and like their friend was like getting hammered, and then they're just like uh they're like don't you have to go to work tomorrow morning? And then they're just like, oh, I'll just play a video, like and then he's like, oh, so that's what it was every time a freaking teacher would play a video is because they were irresponsible like the night before. Something like that. I just
They're just there.
I just completely butchered that joke, but that's the premise, and that's just fucking funny.
I mean, I'm sure it was in the moment, but
Like
Yeah, bro.
videos are useful. They are very useful teaching tools, but they put me to sleep.
Yeah, it just depends on how like the teacher uses it. Like
Yeah,
if you're just, I hated whenever like you were supposed to like watch a video
and
and
take
then it's like,
notes.
oh cool, yeah, there you go, take notes. I'll be like, oh cool, I can like just chill out and just watch the video or just like pass out, and but then like she'll hit you or like they'll hit you with the like nope, gotta take notes too.
You
And I'm
gotta
like
take
fuck.
notes.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
like,
like
ah,
oh my
motherfucker.
god. Yeah. And sometimes I won't even. I think one time I just fell asleep during the video. I didn't even take a single fucking. I didn't even write down
Honestly,
my name.
yeah, there were times I just didn't give a fuck. Like, fuck this, I'm napping.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like,
Like, for me,
uh,
I was like, the way I looked at my grade is that like, I was like never a perfectionist when it came to my grade. To my grade, like if there was like an assignment and there would be those times where like I really don't want to do this, I would look at my grades and then I'd be like, I have a 94. I can afford to not do this. You know, like.
yeah. No, I mean that's exactly what I do even now for my college classes. I didn't turn in a homework assignment because I just didn't feel like doing it, and I'm like, you know what? Let me look at my grade. Yeah, I could probably take this hit. That'll be
I
fine.
I can take this.
If I tank it, and then I'll be fine. But yeah, that happens. I still do that a lot. And
And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
well, okay, I say I do that a lot, but I really don't. I usually do my homework and like turn it in whenever I need to. But like every once in a while, I'm just like, fuck, I really don't want to do this tonight. I'm just not gonna turn it in or do it.
Yeah, I'll
Uh,
I'll gladly accept this L.
and
I'll
you know
take
what?
this L with pride.
Sometimes it's just like not that I even want to do it. It's just I procrastinated on it for too long, and it's like, oh shit, it's like due in class like procrastination for me got worse and worse where it's like, oh, you know what, I'll probably like at first it was just like, oh, I can do it like the morning before, or it's like, oh, I can do it like the night before, oh, I can do it like a few hours before class, oh, I can do it while she's picking it up.
I could
It's
probably find a way to turn it in after she takes it. I'm sure she'll take
yeah, there
it
yeah,
right.
there you go, yeah, exactly, like I'm pretty sure I would get like some credit for it.
Some credit's better than no credit, am I right?
100%, dude.
More like a 90% because it's some credit. Oh man. And then like there'd be times it's like I would be like, I know how this works. I'm not gonna do this. You know? And then
I
that goes
mean,
back to our point of like I understand this concept. I don't need to do this homework. I'm sure that would definitely reinforce it, but I already understand it, you know?
yeah.
So there is some a it's not a good argument, but it's still an argument. uh yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's so funny though.
talking about school and shit really just makes you feel old.
I mean, we're not that old.
Yeah, but like sometimes I just can't believe like shit, dog. I'm 21. I'm really in this bitch. you
I'm
know?
turning 21 in
Yeah,
a
you're
couple
gonna turn.
days.
Yeah, you're gonna turn 21 very soon.
Oh shit, bro. I'm excited. Actually, I don't know. I can't do anything. Everything's locked down.
Yeah.
I really wanted to hit the club. I really wanted to. Like, I just want to get fucked up and dance all fucking night, but I can't. That's sad. I mean, I can still do that. I'll just do that at my house. Fuck it. But it's all right.
Fucking
It's all right. You know, like I was looking forward to that, but Corona was like, nah, homie, you're gonna have to wait.
I mean, they're gonna lift everything's very soon. I mean, even though that's very like
That's
I
very
don't
high
think it's a
risk,
good idea.
though.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not a good idea at all.
Nah, bro. Maybe I just wasn't meant for the club, bro.
I
You
mean,
know?
look at me. Ever since I turned 21, I haven't done anything with it. Like I haven't, I guess as you say, done like adult things. I've just been chilling. I haven't really changed my routine or like started like drinking or anything because I turned 21. It's just whatever.
I've been drinking. I'm kidding. Am I right? Growing up Mexican.
I think that's a story for another time.
That's a story for another time. I would agree because we are actually running out of our time. We're at the
Yeah,
hour mark.
usually how long we want to make it. So I think it's a pretty good time to just end the podcast right here.
Yep. Let's all drink some water.
Glug.
Glug glug. All right. There we
Schlurp.
go. We'll drink your water. Call your mother. Tell her what's up. Tell her you love
Yeah,
her.
I'm actually gonna go meet my mom right now, which is why I gotta go.
Oh, nice, bro.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
gonna have some family dinner. You know how
Oh,
it
fuck
is.
yeah, bro.
Exactly. So if
You
you haven't kissed your mom
you
today,
enjoy
or
that.
tell her,
You enjoy the fuck out of that dinner, bro.
I will, with my mom.
There you go. All right. All
Yeah.
right. So
Okay. Well,
people, I've been Alejandro.
I've been Isaac,
This has been the Rose Podcast.
and we'll
Have a
catch you
good
later.
day,
Bye.
motherfuckers.
Love you.